at the witnesses. I mean, Judge Traverso calling Zola Tongo, the main witness in this case, calling his testimony improbable, contradictory, even laughable.
And that's a problem that you face when you're dealing with a situation where, you know, we've had trials before, they've been tried already, they've been found guilty, they've made a lot of statements, and I think they may have even taken the stand in their own defense. And so all those proceedings, all the statements that come out of those proceedings become admissible in these proceedings, and that's where the problems really started. They just never had a single story which is concise and probable, which is the most important thing. Is it probable? So when you have parties who are saying things that contradict each other, and you know, you've got an accused who's charged with murder, that's very serious. I mean, it needs to be quite clear. And the question a lot of people may have is, well, then if he's now been found not guilty, then how is it that they are convicted? Well, it's very simple, actually. They implicated themselves. So the test wasn't so much, he's not charged with murder such as conspiracy to murder, meaning that we accept that the people who actually did the killing are 1, 2, 3. They've been tried for their part and their participation in that murder. But now it's seemingly they had done this at the behest of someone else. But now if that was the charge, but now you have to prove that it was at the behest of someone else. So we know it's not a question of did it happen or did it not happen. Yes, there was a murder, but who all participated here, either actively or they conspired, and the accusation was that he conspired, but then there's conspiracy theory. So all of this, and Judge Traverso was correct, she actually pointed this out, that the central issue here was this conspiracy. It needed to be proven. It didn't need to prove that murder took place. We know that murder took place. The question is, did you have any hand in it? And that's where it really broke down.
You know, many people are going to be looking at this case saying the state spent millions extraditing Shrien Dewani to this country. Should it have happened at all?
Well, it's actually quite interesting. It's a very good question that you raise. You know, the way I see it is, a trial has stages. You know, there's an initial stage where something has happened, it's been investigated, and you have a theory about what you think happened. And that happened very early on, people were tried. But at that stage, there was a suspicion. There would have been a reasonable suspicion that Shrien Dewani was involved. So the steps that the NPA took to actually extradite him and bring him into the country were reasonable. They were fair. They had to do that. But since then, they've had to put together their case. And the question is, did they realize after they extradited him and were preparing for the trial, did they realize at that stage that, listen, actually there are serious holes? Because that's most likely when they would have started with a lot of the consultations with witnesses. And they may have realized at that point that, look, we've got serious contradictions here. But then they've got to make it a difficult decision. Do we go ahead? But now, would you, as the head of the NPA at that point, decide to actually withdraw them after you've gone through all the lengths of actually extraditing this person and bringing them into the country? You have to go through with the process. So I suspect that may have happened, or quite frankly, they may have actually believed that their case is strong and they've got a winnable case. Which one it is, we'll never know.